Okay guys, how is everyone? Hope you've had a very nice Christmas. Now if you're new to the channel, I'm Mick, and what I do is get out in the countryside in the UK, the Mirrorlands, the coastlines, trying to get evidence of the unexplained, whether that's UFOs, the paranormal, cryptids, big cats. Lots of history in this country, lots of strange encounters being reported by people. If you are new to this channel, please do subscribe, leave me a comment, introduce yourself. It's a community, you're more than welcome. A lot of like-minded people on this channel. If you're after any fake footage, CGI, AI footage, you're in the wrong place. This is raw, boots on the ground. Many times I'm out day and night and don't get anything unusual on camera. The videos go on just in case somebody does spot something. So it is a true boots on the ground channel, trying to find evidence of the unexplained in our great outdoors. Double video tonight. I'm on the Haslingden Moors in Lancashire, UK. A very foggy day. Lots of strange sightings in the skies, in the landscapes, and the big cat was seen over here only a few days ago by a guy walking his dog. Big black cat, but that has been seen many times in this area, down on the paths near the trees, up on this Mirrorland. So double video. I've got two Sionyx cameras, night vision cameras. One's a black, one's a pro. I'm going to put a big piece of stake down in this field tonight. The camera will be hidden away, pointing towards this stake. Will we get anything on camera coming to eat this? Hopefully the big black cat. That'll be absolutely awesome. But in the meantime, I'll take the other camera over to Pendle Hill, which is only 8 miles away, and hopefully, if the skies are going to clear like they should do some sky watching for a few hours there, come back, retrieve the other camera and see what we've got. Got to try these things. But it is a lovely calm day and it is supposed to clear up. So yeah, the whole area around here known for some very strange encounters. But Pendle Hill, I think everybody has heard of Pendle. I do spend a lot of time over there. Many UFO sightings, or sightings of things in the skies. People can't explain. A lot of people think the word UFO means alien. It doesn't, obviously. It's just unidentified, an unidentified flying object. UAP, they call them now. Try and get rid of the stigma. It is being taken a lot more seriously these days, and I'm sure we are in the process of a slow, very slow drip feed disclosure. I might be wrong, they might never do that, but I do get that feeling. The drones, I'm not going to go on about all the theories of the drones. That's very interesting. They've been seen in massive numbers over the United States, but also the United Kingdom. So tonight, Pendle Hill with this Sionyx Aurora Pro colour night vision camera. I'll be filming them skies, see if we can get anything unusual crossing, while this other camera is filming the landscape with my piece of stake. If I get back and the stake is still there, that will be my supper. So it's a win-win situation, almost. If a big cat takes it, I'll have that on camera. If it doesn't, I've got a nice supper. If something in between happens, where it does get taken or eaten by a dog, or possibly a fox, anything like that, then there we go. I've lost my stake, but worth a try. Just check out this bleak Mirrorland. So it's a few hours of dark yet, so I carry on my hike and then set up this camera in this area. I'm hoping the camera's there when I get back as well, so I will hide it well and then go over to Pendle Hill. Like I said, it's supposed to clear up, but you can never tell. In this area it says it's supposed to clear up and it could stay foggy, misty, and vice versa. When it says it's going to be cloudy, foggy, misty, it clears up, so you can never tell. So whatever, this is what I am doing today. I was going to sit with the camera over these moorlands very quietly, but I don't think I'll get results doing that. It doesn't matter how quietly I sit. All animals, whether you're just talking about deer, foxes, rabbits, they know you there, they can smell you. So I don't think I'll have much of a chance doing that. I'm going to have to just leave the camera. Had a nice couple of days in York, so many places over there to go and film. I'll be going over there very soon, filming some very interesting old haunted places. Absolutely amazing area. If you've never been to York in the UK, well worth a visit. And I'm sure you'll find any video that I film over there fascinating, even if it's just because of the history of the place. Right, I'll carry on my hike, and yeah, York, like I just saying, I was just thinking of York. There's so many old buildings, old pubs. You got the York Minster, the York Wall, the Shambles area. A real paranormal area, and I think it is actually one of the most haunted cities in the UK, if not the most haunted city. Looking forward to that. Okay guys, it's going darker now. I've got this Sionyx camera running. It's a lot darker to me than this camera is picking up. And what I'm going to do is get up on these moors just above this path where this big cat has been seen regularly. Leave some stake, leave the camera running while I disappear over to Pendle Hill. I was planning to do some scar watching, but very foggy still. It might clear, but I'm not leaving the stake down on the path because there are quite a few dog walkers, and obviously if a dog sniffs out this stake, then the stake's gone and the little experiment is over, and I'm going to be left hungry. Yeah, if I'm going to lose this stake, I want to lose it to a big cat, not somebody's dog. Because if this cat doesn't take it, that's my supper. Let's head up there. So I'm using this camera without the IR tonight. It's not quite dark, but very misty and foggy. And I'm going to leave this stake down, set this camera up, but it's a good night vision camera without the IR, so I'm going to leave that off. Because I have read a lot that a lot of animals can see IR light, and that could put them off and scare them away. So on this occasion I'll leave the IR off while it's watching this stake. So this is the view you get with my regular settings, but I keep it on this because this is the best settings for when you're viewing up to the stars as well. So I can do the landscape and the stars. But you can turn up the power of this camera. I'll show you. So that is halfway. And if you turn it up too much, it gets a bit too bright, if anything, and starts to wash things out. But I will show you that in a second. That is halfway to as powerful as it will get. And there we go, that is on full. It's not as clear at any of this footage as it could be because of the mist and fog. Usually you get a lot deeper shades on the grass and a sharper image, but it's very foggy. But that shows what this camera can do. Here is the stake. Well, that's in focus. Big piece of stake. I'm going to leave it out on the carrier bag because if nothing takes it, and I'm going to have it for my supper. Hopefully it'll stop a lot of these slugs and worms coming up into it. We don't want that. So there we go. Good piece. A bit well worth the footage, but I'm off looking forward to this as well. So there we go. I've got it set on a brighter setting. This fog has become so thick that I think I'm going to change my plan about going over Pendle Hill, because it could be a dangerous drive over the very narrow, windy roads, and there have been quite a lot of trees and branches come down in the area with high winds over the last few days. So I'm not going to risk that, but I can't stay in this area. I'm going to leave this camera running for an hour. I'm going to walk away and hike a mile or two and then come back. It's ever so slightly light, just about, but it will be pitch black in a few minutes. So I'll let it run for an hour. I will have a hike, have a walk with my other Sionyx, see what we can film. There's no chance of scar watching. I was looking forward to it clearing up. I love scar watching over Pendle Hill, but no chance of that. And a dangerous drive, so I'm not going to risk that tonight. But I will have a walk around with this Sionyx. You never know what I will film on these mirrors, and I'll leave this camera running for 1 hour, guys. See you in an hour. So there we go, I'll go on my hike, which should be a good 2 mile circle away from this area. Leave that stake where it is. As you can tell by the footage, it is so thick in fog over these mirrors tonight. I was looking forward to going over Pendle Hill because the skies there are so dark, and it's the best sky watching area around this particular area. No chance of that tonight, and there have been quite a few accidents with fallen trees and fallen tree limbs around. A lot of them have been cleared up, but some of these little country roads I'd have to take to get to Pendle. I'm not taking that risk. Can't see a thing. You can only see a few feet in front of you, so it makes no difference, does it? I'll have a hike and I'll leave that stake where it is. Hopefully when I get back it's gone, then I can check the footage. But most likely situation, if that has happened, a fox, or quite possibly somebody's dog, but we won't need to guess because we'll be able to see what's on camera. And if it's a big black cat, then there we go. We've got the evidence of these cats roaming the British countryside. And if that steak is still there, it's a good piece of rump steak is that. I will have that for my supper. I'll take it home with me. I was going to cook it on this moorland, but it's very damp and bleak tonight. I'm going to take that home and cook it and have a couple of southern comforts with it. That'd be nice. So we'll have a wanderer. So I'm carry on this trek with the IR on, but not bad if you're close, but if you can see, just get away into this clearance. When it's foggy, useless, it all reflects back. So I'm actually have to use this camera without this on and put the power up a bit. I've no headlights on me today, no flashlight. So while I'm just killing this hour having a trek, while that stake is up there, I do need to see where I'm going. So, again, hope you've all had a great Christmas. And, thank you very much for watching these videos. Just got to be careful when it's this dark now, especially with this fog. I cannot see a thing when I'm pointing this camera at me, so I have to be careful. And yeah, so thank you to all you subscribers, all new subscribers, or of course everybody who watches the video. Leave them comments. And getting a bit disorientated, that's it. If you are interested in this subject, you haven't subscribed, please do. Like I say, in many videos I make, and this is what I do, I get over the moorlands. I can hear something, and the coastlines are all around the UK, trying to find evidence of the unexplained, UFOs, paranormal, cryptids, big cats. When you're out in these places, I feel, you know, the feeling again like you're being followed, but I shall swing this camera around on full power in a minute and have a look. If there is anybody out there, I'll see them. So that's what I do. So if you haven't subscribed and you do want to, I'm getting a bit disorientated here. It's not my usual track this. Right, hang on a minute, I'll show you. Oh, shit. Now this is why you've got to be careful. Just went nearly knee deep, if not more, in some swampy mudland. Mudland, is that what they call it? What were I saying? This is what I do, so if you're interested in this sort of subject, please do subscribe. I'm off my usual track here. I can't see a thing with the fog. I'll show you this in a minute, and I'll show you what I've just nearly disappeared into, so you've got to be careful. So I stepped over, I'm not going to do it again. Man, you're knowing me. I'm not doing it again, but you can see where I'm sinking. Which bit where we were there. All that. I went right down into it. I'm not doing it again because I'm already wet through. But it completely covered my boots. And maybe up to my knees was an exaggeration, but you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful. So I'm just going to get my bearings now because I'm losing my bearings here. Give me a second. But you can see the IR isn't doing much. Wet through now, absolutely wet through, even though these boots are supposed to be waterproof, but it went way over the top. Usually with the IR, only if you watch these videos, you can see the landscape, but look. Look at the fog. Again, I'm off track here. I need to get back because this is very swampy. Right, I think I'm okay now. Can hear a low aircraft. So very. I'll just put this camera on full power, see if we can see anything else. Give me a second. So that's with the IR off. And with these cameras, to switch them on to full power, you've got to stop recording. You can't do it whilst you're recording, so give me a second. So I'll put the camera halfway up. And when I say halfway up, the settings, the exposure, whatever it is, the power of the camera goes down to -2.0. That's what I use usually for sky watching, checking out the stars, and it goes to +2.0. That's the brightest setting I showed you, but it's on 0 now, so it's halfway between that, but at least I can see. So there we go, that is full, so you can see the landscape. Like, I've got the other Sionyx pointing at that stake out there. We're about half a mile away now, but you would be able to see a lot more. But I very rarely use this setting because more often than not I'm filming the stories, and you need it on the lower setting for that, otherwise it just washes the stories out. So I have it on the lower setting and using IR, which is good enough for the sort of landscape filming I do. But if you do have more of an interest in what's roaming around the lands, where it's just normal wildlife, then get this on a tripod. You can imagine I'll keep it as still as possible there, and you will pick up whatever's walking about. The stabilisation, like I always say, is not the best on these cameras, but if you're on a tripod, excellent picture. We're about a mile away from a road which runs over these mirrors, so a bit of background noise. So yeah, there was a guy, saw this big cat a few nights ago, walking his dog. He had his flashlight, a torch, depending on what part of your country you're from. He had, I think more people who actually understand the word, torch in the UK and flashlight over in the US, but we'll say torch, walking his dog, when he come across this very large animal, a big black cat. He described it. His face very clear in front of him, the cat's eyes were reflected back off the torch. Then it ran. He wasn't walking around with a camera like I'm doing. He did have a phone on him, but it had gone by the time he got his phone out to try and film. And when you're walking around in the dark, even though you've got a torch on you, or this flashlight, cameras on phones, as good as they are, they're still not very good at night. But quite often these sightings are seconds, because these animals are off the second they see you or smell you. So very rarely will people just out walking with the camera or phone in their pocket ever get it on film if they see one, because they've gone by the time you get your camera on. The only way is to walk around with a camera like I've been doing a lot, or set a camera up and leave it running. To me, that's the only way. And even then, these animals are going to be off, and even then I don't think you're going to notice them at the time. It's going to be when you're looking back at the footage, if somebody else is looking back at the footage and you see something in the background. That's usually how things are seen. So guys, it is pitch black to me. I'm looking and relying on the screen of this Sionyx because I've no light on me, and it is pitch black. Just having a little hike and a chat. I've got to watch my footing, can't see a thing. Like I said, I was going to jump in the van and head up to Pendle Hill, but not in these conditions. Them little country roads, you know yourself, you need the full beam on. If you've got the full beam on in this weather, you can't see anything, even with your normal headlights on. Just like this IR has showed, it all reflects back, and there's a lot of debris in the roads at the moment from these storms we've had. Brought down a lot of trees and limbs, branches. I can't see a thing, so I'm just being careful here. So it's too dangerous. We'll leave that for a clear night. And there are lots of these beautiful frosty clear nights where the stars are bright and sharp, coming up in the forecast next week. So let's hope that forecast is right. Remember, down Pembrokeshire, and somebody left a comment saying they'd pulled up on a dark country lane with their friend, got out to have a pee in a bush, and told this story, but they heard this large roar. In his words, he said it sounded like coming from a lion. It was a definite sound of a big cat. Literally. Shit, I'll just shoot myself, I'll show you in a minute. I'll just completely shoot myself there. Literally right next to him. He ran back in the car and they disappeared. But like he said, if it wanted to attack, it was there next to him and it didn't. So was it just defending its territory, or its prey, or its young? Now this stump just behind me, it looked like nothing scary with this camera, but it's a very black, just about to see a silhouette because there's a farmhouse still there with some lights behind, and I thought somebody would just stood there for a second. how your mind plays the tricks when you're out and about in these conditions. There's a bit of a lighter view there because there's a village called Rising Bridge right next to where these moorlands start. Things do look very eerie through this camera. Your mind plays tricks, you see faces, you see shapes. Right guys, because I'm using this setting, the battery drains quite quickly, so I'm going to head up back to this stake. It's been about an hour and see what results we've got with the other Sionyx. I want to keep a bit of power on this because I would imagine the other Sionyx has either died by now or it is about to, and I need to see where I'm going to get back, so head up there. Still there. It's been about an hour. Still there. We'll be trying this again at other times of the night. This fog, as you've seen, is so thick over these mirrors, and the last two times this weather has stopped me going Pendle, absolutely throwing it down with rain the last time I planned it, and then tonight, but never mind, there's plenty of opportunity and we'll be doing this again, because you just never know. You never know what you're going to get on camera, and you've got to try this sort of thing to get anything. That camera is really lighting up this area, so if anything come towards this stake, it will be there for all to see. But we'll try it again. But at least I've got my supper, guys. Never mind. Please do like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I'll always reply. Get yourself out if you can, but stay safe. You don't often get a phone signal in an area like this, so tell somebody where you're going and what time you will be back, and leave them comments. I'll always reply. Lots of interesting stories get told in them comments. It's a community, not about numbers. Next video will be coming up soon, guys. You lot take care. Speak soon. No, you're not big enough.